In episode 3 of The Brainstorm, Sam Corse, the director of research for an autonomous technology and robotics team, is joined by Nick Bruce, an associate portfolio manager at ARK Invest. They discuss various topics, including Tesla's AI, topical gene therapy, and Roblox for adults. They start by talking about Tesla's AI and the company's focus on autonomous driving and robotics. Tesla has a new Twitter handle, Tesla AI, and they share a chart showing the growth of their compute capacity. Tesla aims to reach 100 exaflops of compute power by October 2024, which is 20 times more than what they had disclosed during AI Day the previous year. This compute power is crucial for Tesla's full self-driving and robo-taxi ambitions. The discussion then shifts to the importance of compute capacity for Tesla. They explain that Tesla needs such a massive amount of compute power because of the vast amount of data they collect from their fleet of vehicles. Tesla's fleet gathers real-world data, allowing them to train their AI models for full self-driving at scale. Comparing Tesla's data collection speed to other companies like Cruise and Waymo, Tesla is able to collect 1 million real-world miles in just 14 hours, whereas it takes months or even years for other companies. This real-world data is essential for tackling the various corner cases and challenges of autonomous driving. They also discuss Tesla's relationship with NVIDIA, as Tesla has previously worked with the company. However, Tesla's compute capacity expansion is seen as supplemental rather than a replacement for NVIDIA's hardware. Tesla wants to avoid being limited by the supply and pricing of NVIDIA's hardware, so they are vertically integrating and building their own compute infrastructure called Dojo.
The first topic here, right? Tesla comes out with a new Twitter handle, Tesla AI. One of the first charts they post, we'll share it here as well and talk about it. You know, it's a classic up and to the right chart. So the axes are what matter here, and they're showing compute. And so this is important because this is what we believe to be the bottleneck for Tesla going from, you know, what helped you drive to Michigan to full self-driving and robo-taxis in reality. And they're showing that by October 2024, they hope that their compute will reach 100 exaflops, which is 20 times more than the 4.5 exaflops that it disclosed during AI Day last September. And really, to put this in context here, they're comparing it to NVIDIA A100 chips. So that's going from 14,000 of those A100 chips to the equivalent of 300,000 A100 chips. And then to take one more step back and contextualize that within NVIDIA itself, NVIDIA shipped an estimated 350,000 of these server GPU units in the last 12 months. So, you know, if you're just backwards looking, the 100 exaflops from Tesla would make up roughly 30% of the revenue of NVIDIA over the past 12 months. Obviously, if we go out a year, don't expect those ratios to hold because NVIDIA is also ramping pretty quickly.
Next, they talk about topical gene therapy for dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, DEB, a rare genetic disorder that causes blistering of the skin. The current treatment for DEB involves using birch bark extract, but a novel approach is being developed using topical gene therapy. The therapy involves using an edited herpes virus to deliver edited genes directly to the affected area. This approach is unique because it is topical and can be reapplied as needed. It offers a potential solution for a debilitating and life-threatening condition. The pricing of the therapy is still being negotiated with insurance providers, but it is expected to be expensive due to the low number of patients with DEB.
Topical gene therapy for dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa. I've been practicing saying that one. But what is that? That's a rare inherited disorder that causes blisters on the skin. And it's, as I said, rare. So roughly 3,000 cases in the US. Most people with this don't live to be 30. It's completely debilitating, you know, pretty brutal if you go to Google Images and search this. And currently the best treatment is birch bark extract. So this is very, you know, revolutionary here for a couple of reasons. One, it's topical. So you just take this, you rub it on the wound directly. It's not like other gene therapies, which might require blood transfusion or injection. It's redosable, right? So this isn't curing it. You're using it and you might need to reuse it. And then the other element here, and this one's perhaps a bit more in the weeds. And Nick, I think you do a good job of explaining this one simply. But you're essentially using a gene edited herpes virus to deliver the novel treatment. But Nick, can you explain that to a
Yeah,
5 year old for me?
yeah. Well, I'll try my best. And how much time did it take for us to understand this? Going back and forth with Pierce on Teams, it took quite a while. So if you're not fully understanding what we're talking about, uh, don't feel alone. It took us a while, and I think the best way that I've been able to understand it is you have an edited herpes virus. You have an edited herpes virus packed with, and it's carrying a payload of edited genes, and these edited genes will then be expressed once the cream is rubbed onto the wound and affected area, will then change the expression of the genes in the body to prevent or suppress the disease itself. And so that's it's like multiple layers of gene editing involved in this pretty novel treatment for something that, as you mentioned, is completely debilitating and life threatening to 3,000 people in the US a year. And so that's kind of my best way of understanding it, and just how innovative it is. This is, as you mentioned, right, the only topical gene editing solution out there for any type of disease. So it's pretty interesting from that perspective. And then you kind of have these multiple layers of a gene edited herpes virus carrying a payload of gene edits into the body itself.
Lastly, they discuss Roblox's decision to create a category for games targeting the 17-plus age group. Roblox, a popular online platform for creating and playing games, is expanding its offerings to cater to adults. Games that feature more mature content, such as violence, blood, romance, alcohol, and gambling, non-playable, will be labeled as 17+. This move recognizes the growing user base of older players and provides them with age-appropriate content.
Is this a new wave of people? Are kids just aging? Why 17 plus?
Well, kids are definitely aging. I hope. Natural evolution is happening. But what we're talking about here is Roblox now segmenting out the 17 years old demographic and market. They're now going to add a label for all games that developers decide should have a category ranking of 17 plus. What that essentially means is you're talking about games with more violence, potentially realistic blood, romantic themes. You can now add depictions of alcohol, gore, gambling, but unplayable gambling, I should mention. So it's just more mature entertainment from that standpoint. Something that should not be and is not suitable for children, and that's really what I think Roblox has become known for, is this platform for children. But actually, if you get into the numbers, that's not necessarily true. If you look at the last quarterly report, 55% of the total platform, which is around 600 or 66 million total daily active users, are over 13 years old. And then that has been growing. That's been growing. So that's a 2023 number, but that's been growing. And that was originally 42% back in 2020 in that first quarter. So you're seeing a nice increase, or this aging up phenomenon happening in Roblox. And then if you break it out even further, you look at the 17 to 24 demographic and category. That's the fastest growing category and user base for Roblox. And that represents 17 and older, represents 38% of daily active users as of the end of 2022. So, this idea and understanding and skepticism around the platform that it's for children, not necessarily true. Sam, I see your hand is raised.
Thank you. Right, we're not spontaneously creating 17 years olds. Where are these eyeballs coming from? Who are they drawing attention from? Like who's the loser in this situation?
Yeah, well, I would say one, the video game sector is massive. There's 3 billion people that game regularly. So what's that? Half the world population, or a little under half. But then if you were to talk maybe direct competitors, I would say Fortnite as a platform is, very competitive with Roblox because they've started to integrate user generated content. So now you have creative mode within Fortnite. So that's more direct competition, but really kind of the UGC space at large. And then, if you look at the more mature gaming genres, Call of Duty, all of those, first person shooter games have enormous user bases. And that's, if you're thinking of from Roblox's perspective, that's where, maybe your users age up and out of, and they, start playing Xbox and PlayStation, and the games associated with those consoles. But, I think Roblox is doing a great job of being able to capture the attention as users age up. And by segmenting out and now kind of creating an incentive for developers to go after this market, you're, again, increasing the likelihood that users will stay with the platform as they age up. And again, you see that in the numbers, right? Like 42% to 55% over 3 years. That's pretty strong evidence that users are sticking with the platform.
Overall, the conversation covers a range of topics, from Tesla's compute capacity and its implications for autonomous driving to innovative gene therapy for a rare genetic disorder and the expansion of Roblox for adult users.